my sincere thanks to the Club of Rome for having me here to speak on something related to Ladakh where I have never been to. I have no qualms in saying that I have not been to Ladakh. I'll just share a few macro issues related to a sector very diverse from what we have been hearing so far. The Pashmina sector of Ladakh, which I have learned in the course of supervising a student who comes from the community which grows the finest Pashmina in the world. So one of the Changpas who worked with me, and I learned while working with her, and I'll be very happy to get corrected if there is any information gap that I'm presenting here. Pashmina is not only the goat or the wool. Pashmina is a culture of a region that we all know of, and the finest Pashmina which comes from Ladakh. And Pashmina, therefore, is a culture. It's the name of the occupation. It's an occupation, it's a job, it's opportunities. It's also the story of a sustainable livelihood of a community called the Changpas. I don't know how many of us, I'm sure many of us know, but perhaps some don't, that it comes from the Changpas who reside in the northern plains of the Chatha region. It's the plains of Chatha, which is a high-altitude cold desert. And these are the basic geographic features that we have. I'll try to be very brief. And it's part of the Neoma block in the district of Leh. And the total area is not really something very large. And the block headquarter, Neoma, is 183 kilometers away from the district headquarter, Leh, which we all are familiar with. Who are the people who reside here and who rear the Pashmina goats, which helps us produce the world-famous Pashmina? The Changpas. It's a community which is based on mobile pastoralism. They're nomadic pastoralists. They have periodic migration patterns, and their activities are mainly for subsistence. There's very sparse vegetation, scarce resources, and very limited farming. So it's mainly animal husbandry and agriculture, primarily animal husbandry, which they are engaged in, and that's their basic source of livelihood, their traditional source of livelihood, which is very, very selected and sustainable in a big way. So there are different kinds of livestock that they have. They have the goat, the yak, the horse, and the kind of output which they get from there. I'll be focusing mainly on the wool, the Pashmina, which the nomadic herders of the Chatha plains actually produce. These are the Changpa women, and this is the picture of the Pashmina goat. The two dominant varieties of the Pashmina goat there are the Changtangi and the Chegu, and this is the estimate of their population size that we have. And the average annual wool production in this region is 250 grams per animal per year, and it comes from the inner undercoat of the Pashmina goats, which produce the Pashmina, and the other part, and this is the size of the Pashmina goats that I was talking about, and this is how the Pashmina is produced. The inner underbelly, from the underbelly, the inner coat which comes out is the Pashmina, and this is the winter coat which is shed during summer, and the coarser part of it, the outer layer, that becomes the wool. It's cleaned by natural cleansing agents. This is something to be noted. The spinning and weaving all are done by hand, and that soft, luxurious feel comes from the human skill that goes into it. And it's a super fine product that we have. One Pashmina shawl is equivalent to the wool that we get from 3 to 4 goats on an average rate. India produces the finest Pashmina, but it's not the largest quantity of Pashmina that is produced here. The wool coming from Ladakh and the master weavers from Kashmir, this is what makes Pashmina one of its kind. If we look at some basic data over the last couple of years and the last 2 decades, we find that the Pashmina production has not really grown at a very fast rate, which takes us to the question, which is actually the point that I want to raise here, the issues. What are the reasons, what are the problems, if at all, which we have in the Pashmina sector? The first point that I would like to highlight on is the socioeconomic condition of the lives of the Changpas, because they are the ones who are actually the ones bringing it to the international market. So what is the condition that they are having in their daily lives? Agriculture is very limited. I mean, we can see the figures also from about 1,600 hectares, it's only about 600 hectares, 650 hectares, which goes for agriculture, but that is mainly subsistence agriculture, which they are engaged in. Recently, there has been a shift in the food production structure with the emergence of the public distribution system, where they are getting subsidized ration food, which has brought in two changes in the system. One is the emergence of the market, and secondly is the requirement of cash. With them, they have they've developed a kind of a dependence on outside factors. And like every other thing, there are good things and bad things. So it has had some positive impact in the economic sense, but it has also brought in changes in their social tradition. The main area of work for them is the animal husbandry and livestock that we are trying to focus on. There are several projects which are taken over, several schemes which are taken over by the sheep husbandry and animal husbandry departments. However, we still have problems of lower rates of survival among the Pashmina goats. Their breeding methods, their health coverage methods, their veterinary and medical treatments, all these things require a lot of intervention and much focused and deeper intervention in this region. For an average Changpa family with about, say, 100 goats or, say, 60 sheep, and this is the kind of breakup. These are figures from last year when we collected data. The average annual income for an average Changpa family is something like 1.5 to 2 lakhs per annum, and more than half of it goes in the purchase of fodder and basic subsistence food grain. This is the breakup of income that comes from different forms of livestock. So, on the whole, the condition or the quality of life that they have, the socioeconomic condition that the Changpas have, is not something that we can say is acceptable. So there's a lot which needs to be done to improve their conditions. In terms of education, health, water, and sanitation, the quality of life is not at par with what we should be having. Somebody was saying yesterday that there's no one who is a homeless. Obviously, there is no one who is homeless. There are schools. But an area where we don't have any activities, where nothing can happen for months together of a year, we do not really have an education system where schools are running with full strength of students and teachers. The Changpas continue with their traditional occupation of having the Pashmina. What is observed is a recent trend, recent means also a couple of years now, large-scale migration to Leh and adjoining areas and also beyond Leh. For example, the student that I'm so proud of, with whom I learned all these things, has come all the way to Delhi in search of better opportunities. So if we want the Pashmina culture to continue, perhaps it's very important that we focus on the lives of the Changpas who are actually bringing in the best quality Pashmina. On the production side, there are deficiencies. As we already said, that goat population does not really have a very high survival rate, and there are also major interventions needed in maintaining the livestock. The harvesting technique, the spinning, weaving, all these are done by primitive technologies. So there is a need for massive upgradation of technology in this sector. Related to that is the problem of the pastoral lands. As we say, Changpas are nomadic pastoralists. Overgrazing and negligence for years has brought down the condition, the deterioration in the grazing condition, and leading to community disputes and problems in this. There is also a major imbalance in the livestock that we have and the resources which are required for animal husbandry, mainly in terms of land and water in the free-range areas. Also, regular supply of free-range fodder. So these are things which are needed for the development or maintenance, not really development, the maintenance of the pastoral lands. Figures show how scarce pastoral lands are. And the question which comes therefore is, if we are talking about promoting Pashmina, then we also have to put enough importance on the pastoral lands. Because more Pashmina would mean more pressure on the pastoral land. So there has to be a proper and consolidated, focused, balanced policy to develop the pastoral lands when we are, if we want to put focus on Pashmina as an opportunity. This is something that we heard yesterday. We saw the wonderful video on artificial glaciers yesterday, and we were very honored to have Mr. Norfel here. So I won't talk much about the artificial glaciers. Let me just very quickly talk about two more possibilities in modern farming techniques. One is the possibility of having zero grazing or stall-fed farming. The other one is the feasibility of having Pashmina at lower altitudes. This is a picture from the Chegu goat farm in Mukteshwar, which is already in practice. So Himachal, Uttarakhand, in these areas, we do have Chegu goat farms. So that's also a possibility of spreading, extending the Pashmina goat cultivation, Pashmina rearing at lower altitudes. Just one last point, I'll quickly sum up. One last point that I think I'll just touch upon is that we have to have other issues when we are talking about an overall socioeconomic development of the Changpas. Global warming and climate change is one area which needs a separate focus altogether. Tourism is something that we are discussing, and I'm sure my there are speakers to speak after me, we will be talking about it. So just one point of caution that I would like to raise here is the balance between the economic gain and the ecological threat. When we promote ecotourism in the region, we have to do it in a very sustainable, eco-friendly way. The figures show that there has been a sudden spurt in the number of tourists. And if you look at the bars, we will see recently there has been a tremendous rise in the number of Indian tourists to the region. Going to Ladakh is something kind of a fad among the tourists these days. So we have to think about it, how to promote tourism as an economic occupation, as an economic gain, at the same time not affecting the sustainable, traditional, ecological balance of the region. So finally, I would conclude my presentation by saying that focus has to be put on pastoralism as a viable option, so that we have these Changpas not forced to leave the place which has been home for them for generations. In search of opportunities, they have to leave their home. Is not really a situation which is acceptable for any kind of development discourse. Thank you very much. These are some of the agencies from where I got the information and the figures and diagrams that I showed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.